Are you a fan of setting goals? Do you set quarterly goals? Today we're going to talk about the 5 things that can benefit you from setting quarterly goals. That is this week's Tuesday tip. I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers. Let's get started. Sure, we all understand what goals are. Why do I love goals? Well, I find that a lot of talented tiny business owners have a really common problem. And that problem is that they often are not 100% sure what they should be doing every day of their tasks. Of course, we all understand the things that come up for our clients or our customers, the things that keep the business going. But if we really want to have purpose and we want to have long-lasting success with our businesses, there are typically things like projects, maybe new products or services, maybe collaborations with other companies and people. Maybe you want to go for some really big clients or get great press or have a wonderful marketing campaign going. Well, all of that requires you to set a goal, work backwards with a timeline, and understand what you have to do each day to get there. That's why I'm a fan of goals. It really helps tiny businesses understand the structure of their day-to-day and how to accomplish projects bigger than can be accomplished in one day. If you've ever worked for a corporation, they often will do that for you, and often it's the project manager that's running it. When you're on your own, you are responsible to wear all the hats. So quarterly goals come into this and can be fantastic, which is why I want to give you 5 reasons to think about setting them. The first is that a quarter is 3 months. The year is broken up into 4 quarters. Well, already things like your business taxes are automatically divided into that. You have some hard guidelines that are set up. Now, annual goals, fine. You can set that. Sometimes it's nice to set an annual project and then you can think about breaking down that annual project into quarters. Why am I stressing the quarters? It's really the perfect time. That 3 months, you have 12 weeks. They're saying nowadays that to set a habit, it takes longer than what they used to think, which was 30-something days. Now it's really thought that it takes 60-some days or longer to set a habit. So a quarterly goal gives you a perfect amount of time to really get a habit in there and to get it stuck if you're trying to set a habit goal. If it is an achievement goal, however, it really is a great amount of time for you to focus and get something large done. A perfect example of this is if you design, let's say, collections, if you have products, or even if you offer seasonal services. It gives you enough time to put out a marketing campaign, but not so much time that you start to be overwhelmed and daunted by how big the task is. It's a really nice, concise, yet long enough time to get great things done. The second thing that is a great reason to set quarterly goals is because it's the perfect amount of time to keep you in line. Now, if you are sure, when we look at our months, we look at our weeks, we do a quick check-in if we're into goal setting. But if you are really doing quarterly goals, every 3 months, you're doing a pretty big hour-long sit down with yourself and reviewing the progress that you've made and all of that. That's a brilliant way to keep yourself in track, because sometimes if you set annual goals and you don't sit down until the end of the year to look at what you've done, you realize you maybe forgot those goals that you set 12 months before. So 3 months is a great amount of time to figure out like, oh, am I getting really off track? Do I need to rein it in? That kind of thing. The third reason is that most goals will take about 3 months to get done. So you have a year-long goal. I guarantee you're probably not working on that year-long goal the whole time. You probably in your head have been like, well, I want to do this one at this part, or, maybe I have a few goals and, oh, look, they're already done. Realistically, a quarterly goal is a really good amount of time for you to have projects. If the project, there are some things that we set goals. I want to go to medical school. I want to buy a house, things like that. Yes, that will take longer than, let's say, a quarter to achieve. But usually within a very broad I want to buy a house, there are smaller goals that you have to set. So if you're setting quarterly goals, you're going to actually be setting things that you're taking action on and accomplishing every 3 months to get you to that bigger goal. So even if you are, as I said earlier, setting that annual goal, that 5-year goal, things like that, break them down into quarters. Okay, the fourth reason is it breaks the year up nicely. So you are not feeling also a little bored. If you were setting this past year, I took everyone through a 2020 exercise, and then we did a 19 during COVID-19 exercise. That shows that if you have 20 things you want to accomplish in a year, they are from this takes 1 hour all the way up to your top 3 goals. So that's fine. And those would happen throughout the year. Again, there's the chance that you'll forget about a lot of them if you do just set them at the beginning of the year. So by saying, okay, during this quarter, what do I want to get done? You can break them up into 1 hour tasks all the way up to 3 months tasks. They don't have to be things that take the whole 3 months. It just keeps you in line and alleviates that boredom you would get from working on those 1 year goals more often than just forgetting them. And lastly, as I just touched on, the boredom. We don't want you to get bored by thinking that you're only working towards one thing in the year, especially they all tie together, but this is coming into the review aspect. So if you're reviewing what your quarterly goals are and you're like, I don't want to do that. Lots of reasons why we decide not to do things. But if you are realizing like, this is just not doing it for me. It's not what I thought I'd feel from it. I'm wasting my time, or I did it too fast. Having a quarterly goal makes it so you can add new things in. Boredom. Nobody wants to be bored. Maybe some people want to be bored, but they want to be bored but not call it boredom. So all great reasons. 5 reasons why quarterly goals are worth a shot. Look into it. It's the beginning of a new quarter. You're only a few days in. If I can stress for you to take any action this week, it will be to sit down and think about what you want to get done in the next 3 months. What is it that you want to accomplish in we'll say 11 weeks until the end of the year? What do you want to get done? Now is your chance. And then, as I said, at the end of that 3 months, it's the perfect time to check in. They may be things that continue on through the next quarter, but if nothing else, you are giving yourself a solid check-in at the 3-month mark by setting quarterly goals. Well, this was another Tuesday tip. I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Keep coming back. Every Tuesday, I have another tip for you, and have a fantastic week. Go set those quarterly goals.